breaking news coming to us from General Motors. Jeff Flock, tell us all about it, please, sir.
We are here at the Orion Township Assembly Plant, Stuart, and GM is announcing as we speak a plan to take an electric vehicle they were going to build in China and instead bring it here to the U.S. to this plant, cost them an investment of $300 million and create 400 new jobs. The obvious question is this in response to all that's transpired from the president by means of tweet and criticism to GM this week? We put that question directly to Mary Barra and also asked her what she thinks about the president's tweets. Here is what she had to say.
It's complex to do everything to make an announcement and then to make sure that we get everybody aligned, because it's significant not only for the community but for the state, and sometimes my calendar is a little bit difficult as well. So this is something that's been planned for a while.
Bloomberg this morning wrote it up as you're throwing the president a bone. Is that true?
I think when we talk about jobs and investing in the U.S. workforce and the American worker, that's where, General Motors and I think the president are very aligned. We want to create jobs, good paying jobs. And when you look at having a strong economy, we're making decisions to make sure General Motors continues to be a strong company. And that's what allows us to make announcements today, investing in the future with an all-new electric vehicle.
Pursuant to that, you had to make a tough decision when it came to Lordstown and the other plants that you are unallocating. Those are the kind of decisions maybe didn't get made as well in the past, and here you get criticized for it. It doesn't seem fair in some way.
It's always difficult when you're impacting a plant because you're impacting the workforce there, you're impacting the communities, but we do have to make the tough decisions, and it's market realities. People are shifting away from small cars, and so we've got to make those decisions so we can maintain the jobs that we have in this country and can continue to create more. But I understand that it's tough, and that's why we're focused on every single employee that we have, and the workforce that we have at Lordstown. We want every one of them to stay part of the GM team. We've already had 500 of those employees move to other locations. We'll have other opportunities, including some in Ohio. So we're going to continue to focus on that. But I understand it's a difficult message.
The president says, well, put a new car in there or sell it. Is that a feasible solution?
Well, the Lordstown plant was specifically designed to build small cars, so it makes it very difficult to put another product. But we will continue to investigate any opportunity that comes up. We'll continue to work with the stakeholders in the community because we want to do the right thing for the community, but we've got to make sure it's going to be a sustainable business, because the worst thing would be to do something that isn't a sustainable business and then people find themselves in a difficult decision all over again.
You're making the Chevy Blazer in Mexico. The president might say, well, why don't you just bring that one to Lordstown?
Well, I think we have to understand that about half of the components on the Blazer and all of the powertrains are built in the U.S. There are a significant number of U.S. jobs that go to that product. And I think what's really important to understand is we moved a product, just about a year and a half ago, we moved the Cadillac XT5 to the United States. Its predecessor was in Mexico. So that was a move that a product that we moved here that has potentially higher volumes. So you've got to look at it as a system.
Do you worry that much less the general public, much less the president, doesn't understand the complexity of the auto industry? I don't want to put you on the spot there in terms of being critical, but it's a very complex business that you run.
Well, an auto company is a complex business, but I take responsibility that we've got to do a better job of making sure people understand the long lead of our business, the complex supply chain. But I think the most important thing is that we are committed to the United States. There's no doubt about that, and we're committed to not only maintaining the jobs we have here, but growing them. And I think that's very important because the auto industry provides very good paying jobs.
And lastly, on the subject of electric vehicles, there are those who say, oh, electric vehicles, they'll never fly. What is the thing that makes you most confident that going forward in the future, this is where the jobs lie in the building of electric vehicles?
I absolutely think, as General Motors has said, we believe in an all-electric future. That's why I'm so excited to be talking about this new Chevrolet electric vehicle that we're going to be building in this plant in addition to the Bolt EV. But I think it's again, a question of continuing to let people experience electric vehicles, because people who drive the Chevrolet Bolt today or the Chevrolet Volt are some of our most satisfied customers. They love their vehicles. So we just got to continue to get people to have that experience, make sure we have the right range, make sure we have charging infrastructure. That's why we partnered with 3 other companies on that, because as we solve customer pain points related to EV, I definitely think they're the future.
Can you tell me anything about this new vehicle? It's a Chevrolet, yes?
It's a Chevrolet.
Big, little?
I can't tell you any more than that. We'll look forward to sharing more and revealing the product in the not too distant future. But right now we're focused on the Lake Orion plant and this very strong workforce.
Mary Barra, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to talk to you.